Hello and welcome to another modeling video. This is Alan from the Modeling Man at YouTube, and today we will be reviewing the 1/24 scale Kobu by Wave. The Kobu are spirit armor. They appear in the video game anime franchise of Sakura Wars or Sakura Tensei, pronounced wrong most likely. And this is a very old line of models. I haven't seen new releases for a long time, and they sort of flounder around eBay secondhand shops. I found this at a Mandarake in Japan. The special thing about this kit is it's a special coating kit. This means that it's got a realistic metal reflective sheen to it. There's some sort of foil applied throughout the kit and contours very well being glued down, and the foil is either coloured or candy coated into the colour such as this pink. We are greeted with 4 standard runners and some Kotobukiya looking polycaps and a clear figure. The instructions come in colour and black and white, has a very amusing drawn animation, and Wave kits are notorious for having really fine and amazing detail. Assembly wise and build experiences, Wave can be a hit and miss, some going together smoothly and beautifully, being a fun and simple painted builds. Others can be a bit of a tragedy and a lot of work just to get it together, and the articulation and joints failing. Sometimes you have to settle with them being a static build. Sometimes the articulation works. If you live in a Bandai bubble, you're probably going to have a bit of trouble. All in all, this is an amazing manufacturer of kits and can be quite rewarding yet rare. Generally speaking, it is extremely rare, if not may almost never occur, for Wave to do a re-release of a kit. Probably exceptions for their Ghost in the Shell stuff, with the Tachikoma and Logikomas coming out every now and then. Normally Wave will apply and pay a lot of money for a license, create a kit, do a run, and that's it. You may notice that their kits are far more expensive than other manufacturers, and this is mostly due to buying in the licenses to make the products they make. If you are comparing Bandai, Bandai is a combined company with Sunrise, so licenses and IP are not ever an issue. Assembling this kit, this is the first time I've attempted Sakura Wars Wave kit, and I was pleasantly surprised of how well it's engineered. There is, due to its age, a few seam lines and flash lines. It utilises the best of both worlds of the old vintage style of plug and swivel joints, and minimal use of polycaps for arm, knee, leg, waist joints. I really like the assembly as well as the separation of the kit, hiding quite a few seam lines, as well as painting it in multiple colours. Very rich in detail. Other small bits that do need to get painted do get separated. Overall, a very good experience, an amazingly designed kit. Articulation will be limited. I did have a few further issues and had to take some liberties due to the special coating and not wanting to damage that, though we shall be talking about that in the very next section of this video. Now, here is some tips working with special coated parts. Due to the nature of foil being glued onto a plastic, it is extremely thin to allow detail to protrude through. So it's very fragile, and the other side may not be glued all the way around. So rubbing or toying with the wrong section could tear the coating. Thus, when we're cutting the parts out, to be very careful. I'm using these premium nippers. Premium nipper seems to be pretty good, so is Tamiya, that I cut the pieces off the tree, allowing a nub to exist, and then I carefully trim the nub off with the nippers and leave it as. No further trimming, no sanding. Sometimes I'll use a very sharp brand new knife to trim it a little further. To ensure that your cut on special parts are extremely flush and well executed, With my premium nippers, they are only used for really fine, delicate parts such as antennas and grills off military kits and special coated kits in my science fiction builds. This way you'll always have a clean cut and use your regular nippers for everyday modelling. The second issue that you'll come across once the part has been cut out and it's not undergated, meaning the nub marks appear on areas of the part that during assembly will not appear on the surface pieces where your nub has been removed will have a contrasting colour of plastic underneath, as again this is foil on top of plastic, and this colour does not exist all the way throughout the plastic like it's been moulded. So normally when you cut something that's silver, gold, whatever, and you've got the nub mark removed, you'll have this dirty white or black dot, which is the original colour of the plastic. Luckily, the plastic for my Kobu is pink and the special coating is pink, so it is not noticeable whatsoever. If things are quite noticeable, you'll want to colour it in with paint. Normally, it's very easy to find a metallic colour of the special coating. Even if it's not exactly perfect, the eyes will be drawn to all the shiny and vibrant bits of the surface and not the tiny nubs that would be quite similar in colour. Areas of my Kobu is just flat pink from the nub marks. You can't see it, nor the seam lines quite easily. With a fine brush, a small palette and a paint, you can dab a tiny pen on and just only colour in the nub mark. If there is no existing brand colour of your special coating, you can mix whatever the candy colour is, such as pink, with a silver, and just adding different amounts of pink and silver until you get something that's vaguely similar, and you just dot it on and it will look at least a lot better, even if it's slightly noticeable, than a completely contrasting colour. In your choice of paint, as we're not priming or anything, just merely touching on, the best choice will be lacquers. Painting metallic lacquers is quite easily. Normally on the surface you'll dry brush it. Here we're only dapping on. It will self-level and harden. Lacquer is a very strong solvent, so it will etch itself onto the actual plastic like it's a primer, and once dry to the touch it's not going to wear off, unlike enamel or acrylic where it sort of just sits on the surface instead of actually eating into the surface. And another thing is, when you're assembling the kit, try to snap as much as you can. If you are gluing, plastic cement's a big no-no. I use PVA where I can. It's not the strongest bond. If you need a strong bond, super glue. Apply ever so tiny amounts to the joints, as far away from the special coating as possible, or at least the surface area that will be visible. The reason why is, if you put a bit of super glue, all it is just clear paint painted on top of foil, not a porous surface, no primer. It will simply dissolve, wipe off into a silver or metallic surface, and that doesn't look too good. If you get any glue on your fingers and you touch it, you'll have terrible fingerprints all over your model of silver protruding through. So just be very careful, and again with touching, the coating will wear off, so touch as little as possible. And apply the super glue with a toothpick off a palette into the areas you need, snap together, allow maximum time to dry. This is the conclusion to my video. All the experiences and hints on working with special coating parts is from what I've done in the past, and mostly experienced and seen with this particular project. I really do like the Kobu. I like the design. I've got non-special coated versions which I'll paint sometime in the future. I'm glad that I've got a built one on my shelf that was not too expensive, not too precious. It was a fun experience. I found with this particular kit, not knowing because it's a cheaper manufacturer, that the intensity of the candy pink is a bit patchy all over the place, stronger in some areas, weaker or worn out in others. Not sure because it's old and the parts are rubbing against each other over the years in the packet. I did damage some of the special coating around the crutch or codpiece area, which is not seen, and using super glue I did wipe away some candy colour. Being a special coated kit, I'm extremely impressed that the under plastic is the same colour as the special coating, so no need for undergating. Just how intense the sheen is in some areas, you just don't notice those nubs. Some of the really big nubs I did touch on with metallic pink, and they're not noticeable around the knees. The legs do have really bad seams, as well as the arms, not noticeable at all. The assembly and colour separation of the kit is fairly decent. Articulation is non-existent. I see these kits or robots appearing with weapons and in the show and whatnot, but I don't think they're meant to have much of a range of articulation. They're just meant to slash swords and shoot guns. All in all, the proportions and detail do look insanely cool. I really like it. It doesn't really fall apart, though majority of it has been glued together. If you have extensive modelling experience and you've built stuff outside the Gundam genre, or quite familiar with standard and normal modelling practices, I definitely recommend as a kit to give it a go. Not so much for beginners. It would be expensive, being second-hand market item. You'd have to hunt around eBay, second-hand stores, Mandarake, whatever. Not really available, but if you do come across it, and you come across it at the right price, it's definitely a nice little kit, a holy grail for some to have to your collection, especially built and painted. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you all next time.